Today I shot my first strong hand only match. Now the match itself was not strong hand only. I just decided to shoot strong hand only because I have a broken hand. So I was not able to use this to support the gun. Shooting an IDPA match today, but it's going to be a little different. Today I have a broken hand, so everything is going to be strong hand only. So start the match in about 20 minutes and we'll see how it goes. I imagine I'll still do decent, but we'll see. Going into the match, I was a little concerned at how that would affect my reloads. I initially planned on shooting a USPSA match and just running open, so I could just run 33 round Glock mags and the Staccato C4X, and then I didn't have to worry about reloads. After just doing some dry fire, while not the perfect reload, I was still able to reload magazine with a cast on and a broken hand. I just had to be a little more careful while doing that, so it wasn't quite as efficient or fast as if my hand was fine, but I still made it work, and most stages only require one, maybe two reloads. I shot the Staccato C4X. Now it does have a comp on it, so that was pretty pleasant to shoot. Most of the targets were somewhere between 7 and 10 yards. Some were closer at 5, there's one that was out at 25. 7 out of the 8 stages for everyone else was freestyle. One stage was strong hand only, but I shot all 8 stages strong hand only just because, again, the broken cast, and I still wanted to shoot the stage. So it wasn't too bad having to reload with a cast on. I basically just kind of had to pinch the magazine a little differently. As far as the gun goes, no major issues or anything throughout the stage. I don't practice as much strong hand only as I normally do because most matches don't have a ton of it in there. So I mostly just do, in my warm-up drill, just 10 rounds to a zone head box at 10 yards in 2 seconds from the draw. So that, I think that did help me out a lot while I was shooting more strong hand only. For the setup, I was just using this Viking Tactics concealed battle belt or duty belt. I was just trying some new equipment that I thought would be fun to try. I knew I wasn't going for my best performance because I only had one hand, but figured I'd give it a shot. And then I just ran a Safariland holster for the Staccato just because, again, holster's all right, but it's their Pro Fit series, so it fits a number of different guns. So kind of a universal holster, which normally is not that great. Overall, the match wasn't too bad. When I first went to it, I had some local people who'd only shot at their club, thinking they kind of were experts or knew best, which is kind of one of the gripes a lot of people have with IDPA clubs, is every club has different rules. That's not how it's supposed to go, but they all kind of interpret their rules their way, and it kind of makes it hard for outsiders to go and had fun. That was the big gripes a long time ago with IDPA. There's other clubs that are a lot better at that, and you don't have that issue at majors. But the local clubs kind of do have that, and I kind of noticed that at the beginning when they said there's some local rules that they tried to play off as IDPA rules, and they tried to say, well, I don't know what club you shoot at, but this is how IDPA does it. I'm like, no, it's not. I have an RO cert. I've RO'd other matches. This is not how that's done. But if that's your local rule, that's your local rule. Just don't play it off as a national rule, because it's not. So with that, as the day went on, you could tell people were like, well, you only have one hand, you might not be a good shooter, blah, blah, blah. Well, I finished 8th out of 30 people while I was shooting strong hand only. Everyone else was shooting freestyle. And then I was ROing for an RO who was shooting. And he was trying to play off that because his no-shoot, he shot a no-shoot target, they shouldn't get the penalty because he made a makeup and it also split the line, so he gets the better points. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You shot a no-shoot, you shot a no-shoot, so you get the penalty for shooting the no-shoot. So it was just interesting because once they checked that, like, oh, he's right. Oh, he's actually shooting pretty good for only having one hand. He's smoking most of the people here with only having one hand. They started listening, which is kind of interesting. It started off as the day, some people were butting heads. they're like, no, this is how we do it, this is the way it's gone, to as they see me shoot, as they see me interpret the rules and checking the rules, they're like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, which is pretty funny because it's towards the end of the day. Whenever they'd get the stage brief, they'd ask me to interpret it so they knew how the stage was supposed to be ran. We'd walk through a stage and like, how would you shoot this, so they could see a good way to run the stage. So it was just an interesting progression of butting heads in the beginning to, by the end of the day, they're asking for advice, asking for rule interpretation, asking for how to shoot a stage. So just a funny progression for that. The match was in Maryland, so it is in a pretty heavy anti-gun state, anti-gun metro. It's got Detroit and Washington, D.C. right next to it. So it was a lot of those people aren't as big into the gun culture as other states. But it was still a fun match. Decent group of people. There's some cops who were shooting it, which they're shooting the match to get better, so they can better serve the community. So it was just a interesting progression for that. One thing I had thought about prior to this was, how would I do if I ever did injure a hand or break a hand? How would I shoot a stage or match even if I was injured? Well, now I got to try it. Now I got to find out. So that was an interesting learning point to see how I paired up while having an injury. Something I'd probably do again. I'd like to try that sometime once my hand heals up and try it left-handed, see how I'd do that. And I'm not talking about doing this at a major, just a local. But if you do have an injury, you can still shoot a match. If you have a broken foot and you can still walk on it, if you have a cast on, you might not be fast. I've seen people run matches like that. It's a way you can go have fun, still shoot a local match. And is a way to kind of put your skills of one-handed or handicap shooting up against a group of people who are shooting normal. So it's just an interesting matrix, interesting way to see how you pair up against the average person while you have a injury. So if you've thought about it, give it a shot. If you've done it, let us know how it went for you, and get out and shoot.